A pleasant day, House MD fanatics. And for those who are not yet familiar with our viewpoints and analytical vlog, this is a vlog solely created to utter a personal reaction, a personal viewpoint, and a personal analysis regarding one of America's greatest and loved comedy medical series, House MD, with a central character, Dr. Gregory House. This vlog will cater to a different hemisphere as the film tackled the doctor's point of view, but this vlog will unearth the mind of a nurse in this situational medical series. There will be an accurate series and episode analysis, and if you think you are enjoying or benefiting from this personal hobby, type a message and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Furthermore, like and share our videos with other medical professionals, medical students, and people with health interest. Have a great time watching, and let us now pinch our specific series and episode with a brief trailer.
Why are you late?
You're not gonna like the answer.
I already know the answer.
I missed the bus.
I don't doubt it. No bus stops near Brad's. You spent the night, the alarm didn't work, or maybe it did.
I didn't sleep with him.
Girl,
I
there's
missed
something.
the bus.
There's something either very wrong with you, or there's something very wrong with him.
There's nothing wrong with him.
Please tell me you know that for a fact.
Melanie, I gotta go.
You're lying, aren't you?
I wouldn't lie to you. Good morning, guys. Everybody's in their seats? Okay. Sydney, why don't you tell us what you did this weekend? Come on, Sydney. We know you're not shy.
How come we always have to tell you what we did and you don't tell us what you did?
Okay. I had a really great weekend. But you can't tell Miss Melanie, okay?
What did you do?
I made a new friend. It's so much fun to make new friends, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you tell your mom and dad about your new friend?
Absolutely. You should never keep anything from your parents. And I told mine, but... What?
C-A-L-H-E. The. We know that word, the.
Now let us have first our episode recall. In this episode, a school teacher suddenly had stroke in her classroom and she was rushed to the hospital. The team of Dr. House was given the case and they tried to get to the bottom of the cause of the stroke, which later rendered another symptom, which is seizure. They tried to address the condition of the patient, but the patient just deteriorated and slowly ending up paralytic in some parts of her body. Later on, the patient ended up wanting no more tests and she wanted to just go home and die. At this point, Dr. House already completed his theory and he already knew about the cure. But the patient's right of autonomy rendered his procedures useless without consent. However, with sincere conversation, the patient was able to grasp the importance of the cure and then permitted the procedure and the medication to be inducted. Thus, she recovered and regained strength. Now let us go to the episode case. The health case is neurocysticercosis. Neurocysticercosis is a preventable parasitic infection caused by larval cysts. Okay? Larval cysts are enclosed sacs containing the immature stage of a parasite. Okay? Usually, this is from pork. That is why it is called pork tapeworm. Tania solium, and it is present in the brain when you call it neurocystic. The larval cysts can infect various parts of the body, causing a condition known as cysticercosis. So if it's in the brain, it is neurocysticercosis. A result of accidental ingestion of eggs of Tania solium or pork tapeworm, usually due to contamination of food by people with Taniasis. In developing countries, neurocysticercosis is the most common parasitic disease of the nervous system and is the main cause of acquired epilepsy. In the United States, neurocysticercosis is mainly a disease of the immigrants. Now let us look at the ethical case. Here, we are tackling right to patients' autonomy. What is patients' autonomy? The right of patients to make decisions about their medical care without their healthcare provider trying to influence the decision that they make. Patient autonomy does allow for healthcare providers to educate the patient but does not allow the healthcare provider to make the decision for the patient. Now for the episode conflict maker. In this episode, all the symptoms manifested which was attached by Dr. House's team to different diseases and conditions eventually ended up with the presence of a tapeworm in the brain. A place that tapeworms should not be seen or else they will be lethal and it may cause death to human beings. Thus, it's very easy to neglect the possibility of considering a tapeworm in the equation because it's not often that you can see one in the brain. Now, the episode has values affirmation. 3 important value-based points in this episode will be mentioned. First, what is causing death to humanity should not always be something big or enormous. Remember, a tapeworm cannot even be seen by a human eye if unaided, but it can always be as lethal as a concussion or a contusion that will let the person end up terminal. Second, Dr. House gave up on the possibility of curing the person just because of the ethical point that the person imposed her autonomy to die. Sometimes we need to be resourceful, creative, persuasive when we know the truth. Remember, the truth is useless if we will just keep it. It will even be counterproductive, for even if we know something that can save life, when we intend not to divulge it, then it may have aided even in ending a life. That is more of an ethical dilemma in this situation. This is where you need a nurse because nurses talks to the patient not only at a professional level, not only as a diagnostic level, but as a friend, a counselor, and even a moderator, a mediator. Nurses always establish rapport, for it is the only bloodline to patients' cooperation. Third, the solution to life's greatest threat is not always great procedures, surgeries, or even expensive diagnostics. Often, we just need to know the real truth about the condition, and the solution can at times be simple and very manageable. Just like in this case of the lady in this episode, knowing that it was a tapeworm in the brain, she just need to drink casual antihelmintic medications without even a need for surgeries and other procedures. That is very basic with the medical and health-related conditions. Reaching the truth is the best way to impose the most effective cure. In fact, moving without the truth will always be a pointless journey. Now, the episode Healthcare Challenges. If our patients came to a point of giving up, fighting with them, blaming them, or involving negative conscience navigation is never the right direction to take. Sometimes, talking to the patient heart to heart, empathizing with them, and making them feel secured in our system is the best way to counteract a decision they made that needs to be undone. Yes, let us not forget that health-related professionals have boundaries in our practices, And one of those is when we are entangling with a coherent and conscious patient's right to his or her own autonomy. We can never go against such a situational deadlock. That is the time, well, then that we start talking from the heart because there are no shortcuts and there are no other ways. Now, the episode conclusion. So to refresh, this episode presented a patient with a heart attack or a stroke that also have neurologic symptoms, which when treated neurologically, it worsened and placed the medical team in quandary of what is the actual occurrence in the system of the patient. All of these symptoms played together and resembled cooperative existence when the real condition was detected or diagnosed, and that is neurocysticercosis, or simply the presence of tapeworm in the human brain. Now, the episode unique quotation. Every time we have an episode, we will consider Dr. House's unique quotation. In this episode, Dr. Gregory House said, "Truth begins with lies." Wow, this is very powerful. Truth begins with lies. Apparently, values educators will disagree to this. But in the healthcare system, there is no such thing as absolute truth when you are starting the diagnostics. There are only symptoms, signs that may not all be related to each other. Some are there to confuse and some are there by chance. So the more we see them, the more we put related things together, the clearer will be the route to the truth of the matter. This is evidently what Dr. House means with the quotation, "Truth begins with lies." Now, let us go then to the episode reflection. Let me start with the text found in Galatians 5 verse 9, and it says, "A little yeast works through the whole batch of dough." Well, this verse is really reflecting the real essence of this episode. It was a small tapeworm, but it affected the whole function of the human body. So unless this little misfit will be eliminated, life will always be at danger zone. That is why even little things have accurate time for them to be addressed. As nurse by profession and teacher by execution, what really caught my attention in this episode is the fact that there are many cases in the healthcare system wherein health personnel can still do something, but because of the very strong patient's right of autonomy, the healthcare members are tied and they cannot do anything, or else they will be morally doing something which is not within the parlance of legality. Again, the healthcare members are tied and they cannot do anything, or else they will be morally doing something and end up legally accountable for it. This is a very sad reality that not all things with good motives may end up good in the healthcare practice, especially if we are talking about doing or going against what the patient, who is coherent, conscious, and acquainted, is actually standing on. At this juncture, the only thing we can do is to talk to the patient from one heart to another and convince them to reconsider so that life can be preserved. We cannot impose force. We cannot even impose medical paternal will. However, there is always a way to soften a hard soul, and that should be what the healthcare personnel will start to uncover and hunt for. Thank you very much for watching. This is Nhoie's Points on House MD Season 1, Episode 1.